Welcome everyone today to the webinar and the pitch day of Access Health Accelerator program. I am Dr. Monica Mittal and I would like to present the Access Health Accelerator program's pitch day. It's the end of a journey of a 3-month long journey which we started back in January, and it's been an amazing journey. I would like to start the program by introducing our Regional Director Sejal Mistry, who will open up by sharing her thoughts on the program. Sejal.
Thank you, Monica. Welcome, everybody. This is a very exciting day, and I've been part of this journey with many of the startups and am quite amazed by the creativity, the solutions, and the drive that they have. So just by way of introduction, Access Health International is a nonprofit think tank and advisory organization dedicated to the vision that all people have access to high quality, affordable healthcare and the right to lead a healthy and productive life. We know that in Asia and for much of the world, one of the key determinants to healthcare is paying for it. High out-of-pocket healthcare payments pose a disproportionate burden on low and middle-income people, and we need new solutions that will help people access the financing that will get them the healthcare that they need. We see this innovation opportunity in bringing sectors together, and in this case, in bringing the finance and healthcare sector together. For this reason, we launched our first FinTech for Health Accelerator program. The startups you will hear from today are adapting FinTech solutions to healthcare to bring access, quality, and affordability. And these startups from around the region and the world are participating in our Accelerator program, guided by some of the brightest minds in FinTech and healthcare, the mentors of our program. So we would like to take this opportunity to thank the startups in participating in this program and the mentors who are pillars of the program throughout. Thank you very much. Back to you, Monica.
Thanks, Sejal. In addition to what Sejal mentioned, I would like to highlight that we have startups right from Kenya to Vietnam, from India to Malaysia, and also from Singapore. With this diversity, they not only are focused on healthcare and fintech, but they're also focused on bringing innovation and solutions to those populations who were left behind by the rapid advancement in technology. Having said that, uh, I would not delay this process of startups to share more about them. Before I get into that, a few house rules. Today, we might not be able to take Q&As. However, we have networking sessions and breakout rooms towards the end of the program, which we will be posting in the chats. And even if there are some burning questions at your end, you can post it in the chat to the respective startups and they would be able to answer. And we also have a polling towards the end so that you can poll for the best pitch of the day. And lastly, wishing all the startups all the best. I would first like to start up with our first startup from Vietnam, Blue Care. I would like to give a little introduction about them. So healthcare system in Vietnam is very, very fragmented and people find it difficult to find the best care for them after hospitalization. And this leads to additional cost in hospitalization because people typically end up with complications because of not taking very good care of themselves. Addition to that, there is a lot of unutilized capacity in healthcare system at the primary segment where most of the doctors or nurses have stopped practicing because they cannot find flexible hours or healthcare system is too burdened. So Blue Care as a startup is helping address that problem. So I would like to give the stage to Blue Care and hear more from them of how they are addressing that problem. Fong,
Thank
over
you.
to you.
Okay, thank you, Monica. Let me share the screen. Yeah, can you see my screen? Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Phong. I am CEO of Blue Care, the mobile app for booking home healthcare service. So why Blue Care was born? Let imagine if you are Lam, a 30-year-old financial expert, have a wife and a son. Last week, Lam's father was released from hospital Nam father continue need medical care at home to recover, but Nam could not find any home health care service provider. So Nam had to take leave to care for his father, but Nam do not have a knowledge and skill in healthcare. So his father treatment efficiency were reduced and the recovery time were extended. Lam company ordered him back to work soon or he will be fine. When you choose to be fine to care for your father or back to work and no one cares for the father, this is not Nam and his father have to face with these issues. Every year in Vietnam, we have 1.6 million newborn and new mom, 5.5 million inpatient, 15.7 million musculoskeletal patient, and 100 million outpatient are very difficult to get home healthcare service. But we also have a 35 freshener cannot find the jobs. So million of patients were reduce treatment efficacy and extended recovery time. Million of family members have to quit their job to care for their loved one and have low income. It means we also we wasted million of working hours every year. That's why 6 members of Blue Care come to shoulder with each other to build Blue Care platform to help patients easy and quickly get home healthcare service to shorten their recovery time and help medical staff easy to get freelance job to earn extra income, and Blue Care get 25% of each transaction. When have a demand, customer only list open Blue Care app on their phone, select the service, this service in detail, select time and payment, and complete the booking. Then our medical staff will available at their home only after 1 hour to 1.5 hours from they make the booking. With our service, the patient will be back to their healthy life earlier. The patient family member are free to develop their career, and medical staff easy to get freelance job and earn extra income. And we will save millions of working hours every year. Service as the first phase, we will focus on the home healthcare service for pregnant, newborn, and postnatal. From second phase, we will expand to vaccination booking, home contraception, injection, and pediatric examination booking. And from third phase, we will complete our train of service for any home healthcare demand. Vietnam healthcare market is blooming very fast with the total value is about 17.4 billion US dollar with CAGR about 12.5% per year. Blue Care target to get 20% market share of home healthcare service. It means GMV about 290 million US dollar per year. From April 2019 to November 2020, we get 47,000 GMV, 1,000 US dollar GMV, and more than 50% of users come from Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City use our service already. With very lean startup model and effective in operation, we only need nearly 700 US dollar to break even in November 2020. We choose home healthcare service for prevalence, newborn, and postnatal initial markets to initial service to franchise markets. Then we will expand to own a service for any home healthcare demand. We will now we have a huge social marketing channel to introduce our service to the patient, and we also cooperate with clinic, hospital, and vaccine center to introduce our service to the patient. Vietnam healthcare home healthcare market is very fragmented, so we have many competitors, but almost of them are very small. They only have 5 to 20 staff. They only can supply service in small local with curated medical staff and clear information. We can supply service more safety, and with our model we can supply service more quickly. We have planned to expand our service to at least 35 provinces in Vietnam after 3 years. And we will expand to Southeast Asia country from 4th year, and we will expand to East Asia country from 5th year. we are looking for nearly 200,000 US dollar to collect more 54,600 user and 767,000 US dollar GMV in next 12 months. Almost a fund will be used for marketing, only 20,000 US dollar for operation and 4,000 US dollar for sale. So next Earth, so location left behind. Thank you and welcome the question.
Thanks, Fong, for sharing this. We might not be able to take any questions. So if
Yeah,
anybody
okay,
has
okay.
any questions, please put it in the chat and Fong will be more than happy to answer. And also towards the end of the session, we have breakout rooms where you could have one-on-one sessions with Fong and his team. Fong, may I ask you to stop sharing your screen? Would that be okay? Yeah, thanks,
Okay,
Fong.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Fong, for an amazing presentation and a very quick brief about the company. It was quite insightful, and congratulations on breaking even in such a short amount of time. Moving forward, we have Click in Care team. One of the major problems, as an introduction uh, to Click in Care, I would like to say a few words. One of the major problems we have seen in the recent COVID-19 is that migrant workers were severely affected in terms of not only health, but due to quarantine, they couldn't go out and remit money, and that not only affected their physical but also mental health. And there are various migrant workers find it even more difficult to access healthcare, especially outpatient healthcare, because of high out of pocket expense. Mostly it is not covered, and even if it is covered, in some cases the transportation cost, um, and loss of day income and language barriers are few of the challenges which they face in accessing healthcare. I would like Click and Care team has been innovative in finding ways to support this segment of the society, which is equally important, and has found ways to bring healthcare to their doorstep. Let's hear it from the Click and Care team. Sultanur, over to you. Thank you.
থ্যাংক ইউ। আসসালামু আলাইকুম, আপনারা কেমন আছেন? রমজানের শুভেচ্ছা। Let me share the screen. Can you see it?
Not yet. Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay. So that was the language probably you didn't understand, and that is the place where we are working on. Having 30 years of experience with corporate careers, I retired from corporate careers and focused on how I can use my expertise to help the people. When I migrated to Malaysia, we found that there are a lot of migrant workers living here. There are about 7 million migrant workers in Malaysia. And out of that, there are about 1.5 to 2 million from Bangladesh, which is my home country. So we met a lot of people here, and we went through a lot of surveys, and we found that initially they go to the clinic, but after some time they don't. The reason behind is the main is communications, the language barrier. Then on top of that is the cost. And you will be surprised to know more than 50% are having no work permit or undocumented. On top of that, they have the time to travel and they have to take leave without pay. So that is a problem for them. It's a challenge. But on the other hand, they have good statistics of having a smartphone. About 80%, more than 80% have a smartphone with them. Their average top up is about $20 per month, which is higher than myself. And there each consultation cost about $20 to $50, and 70% of them pay from their own pocket. That's a huge money. So what we did, I have quite a decade-long experience with mobile health and telehealth in Bangladesh, Myanmar, and in also a little bit in Malaysia. So what we did, we brought the native doctors on our platform. So we developed the platform whereby the language can be, barrier can be eliminated. So the communication is established, and then the price is also very cheap. And we have partners to deliver the medicine to their doorstep. So even if you don't have any work permit, you are able to talk from any time, anywhere. So the communications helps them to continue the care and ultimately bring up the confidence, and the migrants have now ease of life with the healthcare. The market size is quite big. We are at this point of time looking at Southeast Asia, where we have 12 million, 7 million in Malaysia, Singapore has 1 million, and Thailand has 4 million. And on the other side, Middle East has about 20 million. So if you look at only to the Southeast Asian market, we have a potential of 480 million US dollar. And due to the pandemic, the digital health has taken a new shape, a new paradigm shift. So we believe that there will be a lot of opportunities in coming years. The product is very simple. We have a web-based mobile-friendly application right now, and people can register on our platform just calling us or giving their mobile number, name, and date of birth, and we can help them to register because most of the people are illiterate. And so they can register and log into this platform and choose the doctor and talk to them, and they can get the prescription on their mobile. To top up, they can visit any nearest Bangla shop or any their local agents and get the top up done. The business model is also very simple. As I told you, that we have two types of products. One for general physician, which we charge about 10 ringgit per consultations. And we have a specialist package, which is 35 ringgit per consultations. These are our current packages, but we would like to introduce IoT-based services, which will be used for workers, employers premises, in company premises. So they will be able to use their workers to consult our doctors. And the click interpreter we want to introduce for hospital and clinics, so we can supply our local native doctors, to help the consultations when the foreigners are coming to visit their clinics or hospitals. So we get 30% margin from there. We have 3 pharmacies and 3 clinics as a partner, and we get 5 to 10% from every sales we have through them. So far, through the market validation, we have seen that more than 100K people know about our product. We have done Facebook marketing, event-based marketing, and all this. And as of today, we have 3,020 registered customers, and we have been able to serve 1,000 customers already. And 200 workers have paid. Is very less, but we see that there is quite very positive responses from the clients. As due to the pandemic, we have movement control, and so we cannot go to them. And seeing is believing. This target group is more of, they want to see what is there. So demonstration has to be done. So we are not able to do that, but we are now currently moving within the state in Malaysia. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be able to catch up more customers. On the marketing side, we are more of digital now, and but we, as I said, we want to be more with event and digital both. So it would be more of physical than digital. And on the business to business, we are planning to go to the employers so that we can cover more people, like big companies in Sime Darby for plantation, and Top Glove for glove industry, and all this. So far, the progress is slow, but I should say it's steady. And we believe in that we should start small, but with a big intention and target and objective. So we are steadily moving on. There are a lot of players in the market, but none of them are focusing on the language or any migrant. So we are the only one we are targeting blue collar people, and we are proud of doing that. And we have recently partnered with Doc2Us and also GetDoc, another company who has the local telemedicine service. So we believe in complementary services rather than competition. So this is the team. I am Sultanur Reza. I thank you for giving your time to listen to my all this conversation. And my co-founder, we have been working with him for 20 years almost. I know him, and 12 years I worked together. And we have a technology guy who was very knowledgeable and worked in Malaysia for 12 years almost, and a doctor who is still working in Malaysia in the hospital UKM. So we are looking of about 200K US dollar for a seed round, a 10% equity share, and which will be used for current application improvement and new application development. So we'll have a native app where we can actually integrate with other platforms. So far we have some achievements. We got a runner-up award in MIT Inclusive Innovation Challenge in 2018. We have been Accelerator program in MAGIC, one of the greatest program in Malaysia by the government. And then we have been in Nexia, one of the corporate accelerator program in the Blue Chile, and many other programs, and being also with this current program. So we think that with the collaboration of Access Health International, we can be connected to the many good partners and strategic partners, and also the domain partners, and that will help us to achieve our goal in future with AI, ML-based solution, hopefully. So let us put our hands together and make a better world, because these marginalized people otherwise wouldn't have any healthcare facilities. So we want to make a better world where it is inclusive for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Sultanur, and I hope we can together work to create more meaningful solutions for every segment of the society. Moving on, the next team we have is Credify. If I have to say a few words about them, is healthcare in many countries, especially in developing economies, it's still paper-based. EMR solutions are growing and are growing at a steady state. Yet the patient information is in most cases on paper format, and that leaves patient vulnerable to human errors, doctors to human errors, and that might also lead to loss of data. Credify team looks at digitizing this information and in a way which is secure, where the patient has more authority about sharing their data to the relevant stakeholders they seem to fit. I would now like to call Credify team to share more about their journey.
Hello, can you see? Awesome. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time today. Super appreciate taking time out of your busy days to listen to each of us. We have some pretty amazing startups in the lineup here, and I'm just really proud to be just one of them. Okay. What I'll be covering today essentially are the plights of the healthcare industry, especially around data for healthcare data and integration with financial services. As well, I will be highlighting Credify solutions, going into particular use case of it, and then also introducing a little bit about the team and company. So right now, as a patient, especially, not even in the emerging aspects or emerging parts of the world, but also the developed parts of the world. Healthcare records are fragmented across healthcare systems, and this is something that has not been solved by anyone anywhere. And there are several reasons for this. Essentially, the biggest one is that no one really wants to take the responsibility for having essentially a single or unified or single point of attack in this system. In other words, if we have an aggregated, sort of source of data for user information, and specifically health data, this stuff is really, really critical to keep private. And there are very strict laws around the world how we can manage these things. And just by virtue of the fact that your health records, I would say, are even more private than, for example, your transaction history, stuff like this should not be in any kind of centralized database, from my experience. And obviously, with the recent sort of things that have happened in terms of the world, where very, very large central database of user information, for example, recently has been leaked. 533 people's information, 533 million people's information has been leaked from Facebook, for example. This is a problem, and Facebook has the top minds in the world focused on security, but still things like of this nature happen. So this is a big issue. As well as essentially as a customer in these, as a client or a patient in these services, we're faced with a scenario where we don't have an integrated experience, right? So you can go to applications, you can sort of schedule appointments or diagnostics, but then getting sort of connectivity in with your health insurance company or giving access to certain financial options, for example, for underwriting elective procedures, just simply doesn't exist right now. What we've developed actually are several technologies that help us to address these issues. And I'll get into the specifics of this essentially, but what we're able to do is we're able to enable the secure healthcare data transitioning between systems, as well as drastically simplifying access to insurance, finance options, as well as patient support programs. Our core technology is called IDX. This is an identity exchange. IDX is a self-sovereign identity. The way that we have created this is that you have a meta entity that sits and essentially has pointers into the actual data across systems, and data is only accessed at the point of request or need. And users are in full control of how that happens. And so, for example, let's say my insurance company would like to have access to my diagnostic history. At that point, the insurance company can make a request to me specifically. I would explicitly approve of that, and then this data from the source would then be sent essentially to the insurance company. And we can do this between providers too. So let's say I go in for general care. It's determined that I have something that needs a specialist to take care of me. I need to go to a different clinic. Well, I can pass my data from clinic to clinic, all with the user being in full control of this and no central database being created of user information in the system. We also have the ability to do information verification as well, because sometimes you need to verify your identity. For example, you're signing up for insurance, and this really comes from technology that we've developed in our interfacing with the financial institutions. And then what we have the ability to do is, on top of these technologies, on top of IDX, we have proposed a technology called MedPass. And this is a concept, it's a platform. We're not providing the application, we're not building the services ourselves, we're providing this platform to our partners in these ecosystems. And essentially, it's a technology that enables individuals to take ownership of their personal information, but also get access to interconnected services, especially with regards to insurance, the clinics, the pharmacies, etc. And how this works is, feature-wise, this is a super app. It's an ecosystem of service providers that can offer great discounts to MedPass users, for example, or even embedded finance platform that allows insurance options and e-wallet features. And it's a one-stop shop for healthcare. So basically speaking, user journey-wise, a user could go in and select, for example, a hospital that they would want to go in for a diagnostic check. At that point, they enjoy sort of digital insurance, so they can pay for it, or they can apply their insurance to the diagnostic check, and then they can also essentially get access to other deals based upon that information, and then they can actually pay within the system as well. Holistically, we can bring all of these systems together, all of the touch points and all of the stakeholders within these systems that have interests in the healthcare industry can then be plugged in securely into the system. Users get access to the services they need at the point of need, as well as getting insurance coverage options that are tailored to them specifically, all without compromising privacy. And this is a key point of our technology. This is enabled as well. This connection between finance and healthcare is something that we're facilitating through our technology called ServiceX. This is a service we're offering already to the market, where we're connecting banks, insurance, and consumer finance institutions in with third-party ecosystems like e-commerce or Giga app or Giga economy applications. So it's very simple. You go in, so like the financial institution can go in, they can set up parameters that would specify these are the partners that I want to work with, or I want to target their user base, and then the information within the system, they can set up essentially thresholds, for example, like on a credit score or on a sort of like a health index, for example, for an individual to offer a lower premium insurance. And then the user would see this, have access to it, and then approve access to their data securely through the IDX system. And in the end, what this results in is essentially users getting what they want when they need it most. And it's a seamless experience for users to be able to engage with this ecosystem, but at the same time have that assurance that their information is secured by their secrets. We do have a partner right now that we're working with, and we've announced very recently, called Med247, where we're integrating health insurance options with their application, as well as doing some advanced developments around the data layer. Team-wise, I myself have worked in authentication, identification space with biometrics companies in the US. We were very successful. We ended up selling the company to Apple, the first one, and then I, part of a second company in the same space, ended up selling the company to Synaptics. My co-founder also is a computer scientist from University of Tokyo, has experience in building successful systems, as well as one exit to himself. And our team is growing rapidly. We're very focused on Vietnam. Vietnam is a core market for us, a very important place of focus. We've been very active in communities. Obviously, Access Health has been very kind to let us participate here and give us a voice in the community, as well as connecting us with many opportunities. And we're a Singapore headquartered institution. We have subsidiaries in Vietnam and Japan. And that would do it.
Thank you, Mukato. It was, I wish I have MedPass on my phone soon enough so that I have access to my data and authority to share it with the relevant stakeholders.
Soon enough, soon enough.
Sure. Would it be possible for you to stop your screen share?
Sure.
Thank you. Most of us would have at least a friend, or in our extended network, a friend who's suffering from cancer, because the prevalence of cancer is going very, very high. Cancer is not only emotionally and physically physically penalizing for the patient, but also financially penalizing for the whole family. And one of the major challenges in cancer treatment or critical illnesses treatment is to find the right treatment at the right price point. I would like to introduce Decode team, who's essentially solving this problem in a very innovative way. Preeti, over to you.
Thanks, Monica. I'll just share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So hi, I'm Preeti. We are based in Bangalore. Our company is called Decode Care. So like Monica mentioned, we are an online ecosystem for patients who are suffering from critical illnesses such as cancer. I will present with respect to cancer because that's where we've been operating. That's the space we've been operating in so far. So what is the problem statement that we're trying to solve for? When a cancer patient in India hears that they have cancer, the family members typically face two big problems. The first is finding the right treatment is a complicated process, because this is primarily because India is a private, Indian healthcare is dominated by private hospitals. And therefore people have to pay out of pocket and have to make decisions about which doctor, which hospital, etc. Second thing, cancer treatment is expensive. Compared to the expenses which an average family has to pay, the affordability in India is fairly low, and therefore it becomes even more important for them, as they're paying out of pocket, to ensure that they're able to cover most of their treatment expenses and finish their treatment. So traditionally, Indians have gone to friends and family and their referring doctors to figure out where the right treatment's available. But now we're seeing a lot of people moving online and making these decisions. So the patients we look at, this is their journey. They go through treatment discovery, then the actual treatment phase, where they try to find out take a second opinion, third opinion, arrive at a clinical treatment plan. And then there is a recovery phase, which is a very long phase in cancer. So we are actually assisting patients in the discovery and the treatment phase. For discovery, we do a few things, which is we help them find the right specialist for their type of cancer and the stage of cancer, the right cancer center that is equipped to treat their cancer. And also we help them identify where the best costs for tests as well as treatments are available. We've recently also started extending medical financing to these patients, to our patients. So why existing, online methods or aggregators have failed is because there is simply an information overload, and patients are unable to decide which are the right specialists or which are the right centers. We solve for this through our personalization process. We have 2 web tools which take in inputs on the type of cancer and the stage of cancer that the patient is suffering from. We also take in inputs on their financial constraints like budget and insurance, etc. And then our recommendation tools gets back with which are the right centers for your type of cancer, which are well equipped to treat your type and stage of cancer. And this becomes, this is a free tool that thousands of patients use on our website every month. And we generate leads by making this information and research available. Similarly, we also have a tool, which is a doctor recommendation engine. Using this, patients can actually find out which is the right specialist. And we recommend only 3 doctors who are the right clinical and financial fit for every unique cancer case, stage, and their financial condition. Once the patient calls in, we typically get inbound inquiries, and our counselor calls them back. And we do an initial clinical and financial assessment to see how we can assist this case to actually access treatment. So we offer them 2 broad solutions. 65% of India is uninsured, and they're unable to go to what we call as premium centers, which are typical corporate hospitals, more expensive though they have end-to-end care. They're also actively marketed online and easily recognized and discovered by patients. Where we come in is we also make the mid-sized hospitals available to patients, because these are your typical 70 to 100 bedded hospitals, which are able to offer 40% lower priced care at high quality to these patients. And they're able to discover them only through platforms such as ours. So this segment of patients of hospitals that we've partnered with are actually mid-sized, they're fragmented, they don't have any online digital presence, and therefore we're able to drive volumes of patients here through us. Our business model is simple. We are free to patients so far, but we charge 8 to 15% of the invoice with all our clinical partners. That's diagnostic labs as well as hospitals or cancer centers. And average revenue today stands at $200 for every patient that we acquire. Our vision is to become an online ecosystem end to end. We want to offer not just consultations, a way to find the right diagnostics at the optimum price, the highest clinical quality treatment, but also medical financing and home care. So this is in the roadmap, and patients will be able to find anything and everything they need through us. In our attempt to do this, we're also leveraging technology. We have a web app which engages the patient across this entire journey as they move in their clinical treatment plan. And we actually keep a very close engagement loop with the patient. And we continuously assist them as they move forward, which is specific to different cancers. So this has pre-recorded video programs which act as virtual coach for the patient to learn more about their own disease and side effects from home, and also to stay connected with their clinical treating team. So they can chat with their doctor and get any queries they have during that long recovery phase when they go back home and take treatment. So in terms of scaling up, we are in Karnataka, that state below where we are today. We're only looking at that one state currently. And therefore we feel we're in early days. India is massive and we have immense potential to grow and scale, and our plan for the next 12 to 18 months is to go to at least another three states in India and deliver better revenue. This has been our traction since launch. So we've done 6 months of our operations. We were bootstrapped. We delivered on an average $9,000 to $15,000 worth of treatment through us every month. And we are now beginning and we've delivered $12,000 in revenue, which is our revenue. 50% of this was achieved in the last quarter itself. The market size is huge if we go beyond cancer to cardiovascular diseases as well as neurological illnesses that require hospitalization. So we're looking at about a $26 billion market at the end of year 7. The revenue forecast for us, we have ambitious goals. So for the next 12 to 18 months before our next round, we're going to deliver, we're going to serve over 2,000 patients. And the ask right now for us to achieve this is we're raising $250,000. Most of this money has already been raised, but we'd be happy to talk to any investors who'd like to support us in this journey. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Preeti. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best in your journey. Next up, as I would like to share, as everybody knows today what a ride-hailing platform is and how important they are on each of our lives. Anything we need, anywhere we want to go, we first book a taxi on through our apps, and that has become an integral part of our life. The next stage in that app is to become a super app. And it's, I guess, the aspiration of every entrepreneur to be that super app where users go for each of their needs. And one of such dreams is by Pick Me Up Technologies, whose founder is Michael, and they're based in Nigeria. And they are looking towards healthcare and financial needs of the user to support them and become the super app at the same time. Michael, over to you.
Hi everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, so I'm Michael and I'm the founder and CEO of Pick Me Up. So at Pick Me Up, we are merging everyday personal needs into an easy to use digital platform for emerging markets. And we are starting with mobility. So I'm excited to introduce you to Pick Me Up. And in the next few minutes, I will take you through our idea, operations, and how we plan to scale. So emerging markets lack scalable solutions for everyday consumer problems. For example, when ordering a taxi, consumers have to rely on legacy taxis, which are inefficient, expensive, and unsafe. Payment systems for daily utilities are incompatible, fragmented, and expensive. Filling a drug prescription requires physical presence that takes time. For most parts of the world, 60% of healthcare expenses are out of pocket without access to financing options to pay for healthcare. Furthermore, who gets access to healthcare depends on whether they have the money to pay for it. And majority of people pay for healthcare services at the point of delivery. So that's where we come in. We take an innovative approach to solving these challenges by providing a one-stop shop for users to be able to commute, access healthcare, order food, and pay for daily essentials through one Pick Me Up app. We have launched our initial mobility solution and already generating revenue. We have chosen mobility as our entry point because we know the business best and we are experiencing enormous growth. So we leverage on our mobility solution to offer consumers a wide variety of digital services across various verticals to combat the current healthcare and financial challenges faced by urban and rural users while providing on-demand delivery and other financial services. Our immediate addressable market, which is Nigeria, is massive, underpenetrated, and fast-growing. Nigeria has the largest economy and largest population in Africa. The total addressable market is $69.8 billion, with 7.7 million active users in Nigeria alone. We have a clear path to $100 million annual recurring revenue by converting 2% of the 7.7 million users a year using referral incentives and attractive pricing discounts. At the left is our current mobility product, which is fast growing, while at the right is our new super app, which is currently under development and will be launching soon to unlock new growth verticals like food delivery, healthcare, and payment solutions. We are building a platform that takes out the inconvenience and time investment that goes into day-to-day consumer activities and give back value in terms of convenience, affordability, and variety. In the near future, our platform will have impact on both the consumers and workers in the gig economy and small businesses. Consumers will have safe, convenient ways to access everyday services, while at the same time helping gig workers have more transparency on how they work, have greater flexibility over their earnings, access financing, and pay for the health care that they need. By providing a range of on-demand services, our platform will be able to provide different value adds to our customers. Now, we've had a lot of success to date. Currently, over 50,000 people rely on our app to move around their cities, and we have completed over 70,000 happy rides. Customers love the products because of the interface and the customer care. Hence, over 4+ star, they've rated us over 4+ star ratings on Google Play Store and App Store. We have also been named among the top 15 startups to watch globally by Startup Grind, the world's largest startup community. All of these metrics have been achieved without funding. Now imagine what we can do with your support. Our main competitors are Uber and Bolt. However, insider knowledge of the sub-Saharan African markets gives PickMeUp an unfair advantage to scale rapidly. We also have the best drivers welfare on the market and offer the most affordable rides for better quality of services. We have a highly efficient and simple transaction-based business model. PickMeUp matches drivers with passengers and take 15% commission on each transaction. We are evolving and will be further monetized through additional revenue streams such as deliveries, healthcare, and payments. PickMeUp will grow rapidly and has IPO potential. The team and I have complementary experience in this space, and we know how to make 1 + 1 = 3. Our CTO, Taylor, has over 15 years of technical leadership experience and strives on building amazing and unique products. He has been part of 2 successful exits. Furthermore, our COO, Badlomi, has most recently worked in Uber and Bolt and has spent the last 5 years building marketplaces in emerging markets. At the back end, we have a board of advisors who provide balance to the team and experience. We are raising $1.2 million that will go towards geographic expansion and product development, particularly enhancing and expanding our technical team and robust marketing campaigns to help us reach these goals. Our roadmap for this round is to expand into 5 new cities, increase our users from 50,000 to 500,000, launch our new super app, hit 1 million happy rides and others, and hit $4 million annual recurring revenue. Our second phase of expansion will be focused on scaling our multi-service app and expanding into Asia and beyond. If you are an investor and our business and mission to digitize society resonates with you, let's have a conversation. Thanks.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for such a brief presentation, and I wish you all the best to be the super app.
Thank you.
Thank you. COVID-19 has shown us how important telemedicine is, and we have also seen an uptake in telemedicine platforms in the recent past. But but it is a gig economy where doctors are at one end and the patients are at the other end. However, doctors are not happy using a telemedicine platform as an Uber platform, and even patients seem to be not interested in a platform where they don't know who the doctor is or the doctor is not of their choice. Smart Future addresses this solution. So I would like to hand it over to Sumit to share more about Smart Future.
Thank you, Monica. Yeah, hi, everyone. My name is Sumit Khemani. I'm from Smart Future. We're a Singapore-based company in the space of telehealth, as Monica said. The problem is that for telehealth is that the available options are not enough. The most prevalent one is obviously the Uber type model, the aggregator model, in which a company would aggregate doctors on one end and patients on the other and charge a commission. Unfortunately, doctors who have practices and who have existing clients do not want to send their existing patients to an app, a third-party app with their hundreds of other doctors. So they want telehealth as a technology rather than a new business model. The bigger hospitals, the bigger clinic chains would tend to have an in-house team or even outsource work to a software development company to build telehealth and keep updating it with modules. But unfortunately, if you see the work that is done across different hospitals is being replicated, and And obviously the ROI is not clear, and some of them may not be able to recover the money and may stop doing improvements to the platform. During COVID, especially the smaller doctors, smaller clinics would have used probably globally WhatsApp a lot, messaging apps a lot, just so that they can be in touch with some customers, some patients. But it's not scalable, it's not connected. So there was a lot of data entry job, and eventually there are also issues with privacy and confidentiality. So what we have been over the past 5 years doing is offering white label telehealth platform, which could be launched for a doctor based on like a plug and play model. There are different modules they can choose what they want, and it's offered to them with zero upfront costs. It's made for them in less than, on average, in 15 days, and it's given on them on a monthly subscription model. So I'm going to show you some of the modules that are part of these telehealth platform. Obviously, in most of the cases, a patient would be given a white label doctor's own mobile app, and there may be some cases in which a web dashboard may be given. On the doctor's end, there would be in most of the cases a web dashboard, in some cases mobile app, but in a lot of the recent cases, doctors want integration with their EMR, with the existing systems they are using, which we provide, and then they don't have to go outside their existing platform, and they will be able to take care of, imagine this more of an CRM being implemented on top of their existing system. Almost half of the clients would need chat, audio, and video, which we have all come to know as telehealth, which is not. But almost 100% of the doctors would need remote vitals monitoring. So that's the new thing in which you take care of people with or without chronic condition and check their vitals with a lot of accuracy using medical devices. So that's something we provide, and I'm going to cover in the next slide as well. Documents being generated, sent via SMS, payment gateway, integration with last mile, integration with labs, a lot of other modules are also included, and they can pick and choose. But to talk a little bit about the continuous vitals monitoring in Singapore, we have integrated with a lot of devices, medical devices, and we are able to provide these devices in different form factors, and doctors are able to provide it to their patients. Could be in the form of home kit, given to them to bring home. Could be in the form of kiosk and pods being installed in community areas. Could be in offices where people can check their different vitals, do a call with the doctor. Printouts could come out in a pod, and medicines could eventually be delivered because there's integration with a Grab or an Uber. And then also the data that is being captured allows us to do analytics for people of these patients, and then show the different risk classification to the doctor, and also different condition, different treatments that have worked in the past. So there's also analytics angle, and that's something at present is being offered to the doctors for free. Other modules would include marketplaces, payment gateway I mentioned earlier, customized chronic condition programs that are being generated by doctors and being offered. For insurance, a lot of the doctors in US where we are doing pilots now, they would need reports being created on a monthly basis, where number of calls, at what time and what conditions. So there's certain AI being used to capture the ICD-10 diagnosis, for example, and reports are generated and being submitted by doctors to their insurance. On a high level architecture, it's important to know that it's something like making a Teladoc for a client. There's no sharing of anything, no API sharing. Even if a small client doesn't have cloud, we help them to build start a AWS or a GCP cloud. So everything would be standalone. Especially in terms of GDPR and HIPAA, it's just between patient and doctor. We may have a job of data processor in some clients, but we are nowhere owning the data in any case. So it remains within the existing infrastructure. There would be a plan for different size of clinics and hospitals in different countries we are in. It will take, like I said, an average about 15 days, depending on different integrations they would need or different customizations and designs that they would need in the apps and webs we will make for them. About 60% of revenue current comes from these plans I showed you, and the remaining 40% comes from the different devices in Singapore we are providing the doctors. Even on some of the devices are on leasing, but most of the devices are on outright sales per model. COVID has helped us, obviously, and we have been breaking even for the last 9 months and kind of putting back into business and hiring more people. So it's like a model, just to recap, I mean, it's a hybrid model between a telehealth and a software development company, just to make it clear. So somewhere in between, it can be obviously for other industries as well, but what the modules we have made are for the healthcare industry. Traction, as of March, 135 paying clients, more than 400 doctors in these clients are active every month. Close to 167,000 patients who have registered since start, and all these different platforms we have made. 23,000 patients active every month, and more importantly, 1 million medical readings. These are not wearable readings, these are medical device readings being captured, which allow us to obviously improve the analytics that we offer. We've been lucky to be part of many acceleration programs. We've won numerous awards along the way. Last week, we won the Angel Hub Global Competition. There have been a lot of partners who have helped us, not just partners who bring us new business, who are actually have clinics that they work with, but more importantly with companies that are giving us their analytics, they're giving us their different tools and devices for diagnosis and help us to give treatment options to the doctors. Future for us, we have done successful pilots in the last 2 years in most of the Southeast Asian countries, where we are starting to have people on the ground this year. And this number is on the lower side because we are growing organically. We don't intend to raise any money this year. Opportunity for us, again, it's everywhere. A lot of, if I talk about clients, thousands of clients, not just inpatient and outpatient practices, but even NGOs would need something like this. Hotels would need something like this. It may be in their existing app, or it could be a new app that is built for them. Hyper localization is needed. There are different EMR, CMS systems that are in every country. We need to integrate that, and eventually also be a model like Salesforce, have APIs and SDKs to these system integrators who are already building platforms. So they are able to build a CRM layer with the help of our APIs. And that's another roadmap for us as we go along. Team has a good mix of people from different backgrounds, leaders, people who run their own companies, from companies like Philips, from insurance companies. The team has been together for 3.5 years. I would say most of us have been together for 3.5 years, and we are growing now. So from 19 end of last year, we are now at 23 people, full-time people, and there are advisors who are helping us along the way as well. We have been lucky enough to get media coverage because of the space we are in and being part of many interesting programs, including Access. Yeah, that's it about me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sumit, for such an amazing presentation and a quick overview of on all aspects. Moving forward, I would like to share a little bit more about SureClaim before I hand it over to Anuj. One of the pain points we all must have experienced in our lifetime, in our healthcare journeys, is that we are not sure what the healthcare bill would be because the pricing is not standardized across different hospitals. And even if we are insured or covered, we really don't know what is covered under our insurance policy, and we are unable to make the right decision for a treatment. SureClaims does an amazing job of educating people and helping them navigate that system. Over to you, Anuj.
Thanks, Monica. And hi, everyone. I am co-founder and CEO of SureClaim. We are a Bangalore, India-based company, and we are 4 years old into our journey. So interestingly, India is a $100 billion hospitalization market, out of which, if you look at the contribution of spend from insurance, whether it is private insurers or government schemes, that's close to about $9 billion. So about 92% of the entire hospitalization spend is out of pocket for the Indian healthcare consumers, which is a massive amount, and considering that we are a developing country. So given this entire challenge around out of pocket, wouldn't it be great that patients had something like a GPS to guide them to the right kind of hospital where they could be matched to the care and cost preferences, so as to lower their out-of-pocket expenses, right? Now we've been into business for the last 4 years, as I mentioned, and so we have built a policy navigator. So just a few stats. On an average, the amount that people claim in India is about 1,200 USD. And out of that, the sector regulator IRDA publishes a report which says that on an average, the amount paid in claims is only 300 USD. So there's a massive gap that the customers face. And over the last 4 years, with the use of our policy navigator, which has been used by 70,000 odd patients till date across small and large hospitals in the Bangalore territory, we have seen that the average claim payout for these people have improved to about 850 USD, and that's because of smart decisions. It's because of picking up the right room categories, using their insurance policies smartly, and being able to justify all their expenses properly using a smart claim technology that the SureClaim has built. Now we are graduating to is building a healthcare navigator platform, which is going to help consumers or patients identify affordable, high-value healthcare. And to do that, our navigator is going to plug into hospitals and insurance data. We already have a plug into hospitals, and we're collecting data which is available on your right-hand side, which is of clinical specialties that this provide, the tariff that the hospitals have for both cash and insurance patients. Our systems are able to predict pricing for a certain treatment based on certain entry parameters of the customers. We're building a digital price negotiation for the demand channels to work with the hospitals to reduce the cost of treatment for the patient they will source for the hospitals. And of course, this entire medical record management as well as insurance claim anyways happens on the short claim system. All of this we are going to provide them through an API to telehealth platform in the country. Luckily for us, National Digital Health Mission started last year by government is helping us to accelerate in this journey. Now you will ask me why telehealth platform, why the focus on that as GTM? Because luckily for us, COVID has shifted this entire demand flywheel away from hospitals and to telehealth platforms. Because of low mobility, more and more people are now consulting doctors online and they are getting their tests done at home. So over the last years, the platforms have collectively grown to a 250 million user base. And EY estimates that the entire India telemedicine market is going to be $5 billion. Now, that's not our market. This is basically the potential of the telemedicine companies in the country and the kind of demand funnel they're sitting on. And so what we're building is basically a healthcare ecosystem natively integrated into a telehealth platform. So today, in a telehealth platform, it is a doctor who's the provider, and the fulfillment that they do is not just consultation alone, but the pharmacy and lab diagnostics at home. What ShawClaim Health Navigator is doing is plugging hospital data as well as hospitalization as a service, as a fulfillment service within telehealth platforms, as well as the entire insurance companies as payer into this ecosystem. Our business model is fairly simple. The users of telehealth platforms use our healthcare navigator to identify the hospitals which match the parameters, and hospitals pay us for a platform fee to be part of this navigator, but it's a success fee-based platform fee. So as and when they're able to get a customer from navigator, they pay us. So it's not a fixed cost for the hospitals. So it's a win-win for everyone. Our roadmap for the next 12 months is to build about $1 billion worth of inventory capacity through our hospital tie-ups and the data that we're going to aggregate. That's about 11% of the total hospitals in the market, adding up to about 40% of the admissions that happen. Bangalore is a 2 billion annual admission market, and so we're targeting about 40% of that, which is going to aggregate about 40% beds. So all of this inventory, all of that parameters being fed via navigator to the demand channels is going to help hospitals monetize from these partnerships. We have global peers in the West. A lot of them are focused on this entire navigation piece. Rightway, Ribbon, Amino have raised significant amount of capital in the US and largely focus on similar kind of solutions. So that shows that it's a very advanced solution already available, and this is solving customer issues elsewhere. We are a very experienced team in this domain. I and my partner Varun, both of us have worked with Practo in the past, as well as many hospitals as well. So we understand the healthcare and health tech space very well, and we've been running an insurtech startup for the last 4 years. ShawClaim is a very well-known company in the Indian insurtech space for the kind of work that we do for consumers. Our tech and data science is led by Karthik, who's again worked with some fantastic organizations in the past. Yeah, that's pretty much from my side. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Anuj. It was a very detailed presentation. Thank you for sharing. Next, moving on, we have Timeless. Before I give it over to Kat to share more, I would definitely highlight few points, such as Asia is a aging population and the number of people coping with the loss of their loved ones is on the rise. End of life retirement does face a number of challenges such as legal, financial, health, and bereavement matters. These are complex decisions and they are perceived with large financial commitment. I would now like to hear it from the Timeless team of how they actually address these complex challenges. Over to you, Kat.
Hi, my name is Kat, and I'm thankful to be here. Timeless is a one-stop estate and legacy specialist portal to assist families in handling life matters pre and post-death. No one lives forever, And with an aging society, we expect more to deal with mortality. Yet many are woefully unprepared for the end. Death is one of the hardest emotional challenge, and it's also one of the biggest financial events of anyone's lifetime. Yet many of us have not put in place contingency plans, and pain points extend beyond just practical challenges and inheritance complications. It becomes a social problem, unclaimed estates, distress, damage to family ties, and unnecessary social costs. While we could prepare well for the end, be it financial, legal, health, personal data, and legacy, many do not. Well, we get it is just too complicated. And it gets harder with changing modern needs. Now with information all over the place and unorganized bank accounts getting paperless, digital investment accounts, etc., the role of the estate administrator also gets harder. People desire autonomy, but are hampered by the lack of tools and an unorganized market. Our solution is a holistic and secure digital platform that helps people organize, store, securely share, and connect to a professional service providers, all in one platform. One can access a knowledge base of processes and practices, get organized with our intuitive digital planner and storage files, as well as take charge in completing your plans with curated services from our partners. When all else fails, we'll get it done for you. Timeless Concierge helps to handle post-life estate administration matters to help you fulfill your last mile wishes. We do that by simplifying the planning and administration process, and family caregivers are then empowered to plan ahead and handle all end-of-life matters, providing peace of mind for their loved ones and dependents. The demographic, we are focused with the demographic that has the greatest need, and this is the middle age group. They are progressively experiencing dealing with mortality of their loved ones that prompts them to pre-plan their own and for their loved ones. The opportunity is huge and promising, and there is a trend of increasing spending on digital solutions to help handle such life transitions. Just like how Property Guru did it for property and Grab did it for transport, Timeless is bringing together the service professionals and ecosystem that help support a resilient and sustainable aging society. Here, I call it the longevity industry. The longevity landscape is emerging and gaining traction. It cuts across financial, health, and legal tech. A startup called Fairwheel, based in UK, recently closed a £20 million investment in just 2020. Unlike other companies which try to address a narrower part of users' planning and decision process, Timeless addresses this in different planning needs in a holistic manner in a single platform, while democratizing access, augmenting discovery, and encouraging progress. There lies a blue ocean opportunity in Asia Pacific. Asia Pacific clients having a greater preference over digital interactions for both wealth and legacy planning. Our business model includes freemium tools, fee for services, and other revenue streams via our service partners. Our focus to date have been product development and providing free trial for select partners. And we have progressively broadened our value proposition to drive secure network effect and support collaborative planning. Compared to our competitors, we are modular. We built for international scalability and suited for multi-channel engagement. Planning itself can be an interactive process, and to our partners and channels, we provide them with the tool to present a more holistic, value-based advisory role as they co-create with individuals to make progressive steps. In addition, Timeless platform potentially allows for aggregated insights of the user's priorities, needs, and even philanthropic aspiration, thereby leading to better planning for future added and personal services. Last year was an unusual year for everyone, but we are progressively growing. Just this month, we secured a project with an organization for future care planning for caregivers. Moving forward, we are also raising our pre-seed for $500,000 to focus on brand awareness, channel partnering, and of course, sales. As Timeless, we know that it's not an easy endeavor to help people with life and legacy planning. Our team spans across different experience and expertise, as well as age groups. And what brought us together is really our belief that what we are tackling is something that affects us all. We are very grateful for the support from organizations and partners in our journey so far. And these are some of the testimonials. We hope that for everyone, that Timeless can be the go-to platform for your life, your future, and your legacy. Here I end off. Please feel free to ask me any questions in the breakout room. After all, talking about dying is not going to kill you. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Kat. Thank you so much. Moving on, next startup is Workle. As a parent, I do feel with the technology advancement, it has given me the authority or the tools to monitor as a parent various forms, various ways to of my child. However, there are challenges as well. The challenge in being teaching them to make healthier choices, childhood nutrition being very important for a lifelong nutrition, lifelong good health. Workle solves that problem of educating kids in a way where parents have the control and right tools to make their kids healthier choices, choose healthier meals, and also at the same time teach financial tools for which are very critical in the journey ahead. Over to you, Workle.
Thank you, Monica. Can you?
Yes, Paresh, we can hear you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Paresh, and I'm the co-founder and CMO at Workle. And more importantly, I'm a parent, like many of you. As a parent, I want my kids to learn key life skills that will help them to cope with life, and to help them become successful and have a happy life. Key life skills such as how to value and handle money. So let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at financial literacy. If we look at past generations and how they learned about money, generations such as Generation Y, X, Y, and millennials, they did not really learn to become financially literate when they were kids. And you can see that now when you look at the results and how they're doing. In Malaysia, the average credit card holding is 10,000 ringgit. And 80% of adults are unable to live beyond 3 months without income, and so on. So what about kids today? What about Generation Z? How are they being taught about financial literacy? Well, you could argue it's just got worse, with social media driving impulse buying and online commerce making that impulse buying possible. And traditional banks, well, when it comes to teaching financial literacy, they seem to have been failing for decades. So enter the neobanks, focused on the child, focused on teaching kids about money. So as you can see, it's a growing market, which is attracting increasing investment. The logos at the bottom of the graph, they represent the year in which companies were established. As you can see, Workle was established in 2019, and we launched or went live in June 2020.
I still have the.
We have a very focused mission, and that is to help parents raise smart, healthy, and financially responsible children in an increasingly complex digital world through a child-safe and parent-controlled banking and lifestyle service. So how do we meet this mission? We do this by providing a cashless solution that combines the nurturing of financial literacy, character development, and healthy eating, combined with lifestyles and rewards. Now, given that this is an accelerator looking at fintech and health, I just want to take this opportunity to share our objective for healthy eating. Actually, it's more like our long-term vision of what we want to do to address the impact of unhealthy diets on Malaysia as a whole. You see, the burden of disease from 3 NCDs, that's cancer, diabetes, and heart disease, attributed to unhealthy diet in Malaysia was a staggering 44 billion ringgit in 2017 and is continuously increasing. So our vision is to significantly reduce the burden of disease by helping parents and schools to nurture good food habits amongst children. Basically, prevention is better than cure, to the tune of around 40 billion ringgit over the next 10 years. Now, to do this, we need to be part of a larger ecosystem, which we have started to put together under something that we call the Healthy Kids Initiative with our founding partners, UKM and IMU. These are leading Malaysian universities. And what is our role in this ecosystem? We provide the enabling tech and help create the nutritional data that powers traffic light labeling, that's food traffic light labeling, and nutritional analytics, which drive changes in behavior and data-driven intervention. So what is our technology? Well, our technology serves two key touch points, the Verkle app and the Verkle card. The Verkle app is used by parents to control and have visibility of what their children are purchasing, both in and out of school, and set and manage goals around good food habits, financial literacy, and character development. So on the children's side, we have the Verkle card. We've created our own on-net debit card system. This is an open loop card system that is fully regulated. Now what this does is it enables children to use allowances to give them by their parents at school. We see the importance of school allowances as a key difference between the Malaysian market and Southeast Asian markets compared to markets such as the UK and US. In those markets, non-school pocket money is prevalent. In Asia, not so much. So Verkle has spent quite a bit of time creating school-specific payment capabilities to address this difference. Now, in Q3 this year, we plan to launch the Verkle prepaid Visa card. That's going to be our first direct-to-consumer offering. We operate under a third-party e-money license and are currently in the process of acquiring our own e-money license. In Malaysia, we're well positioned to ride the wave of growth in the child-focused neobank sector, and almost all our competitors are primarily focused on generic payment functionality, as opposed to nurturing. And when we look further afield, when we consider ourselves against the leading global players, we believe we have strong USPs that help us differentiate. Firstly, our parental control and visibility capabilities that we have developed in-house provide more granular capabilities than in the market today. Secondly, in terms of nurturing, we do more than just financial literacy and have created a nutritional analytics capability that is tailored for Malaysia and Southeast Asia. And thirdly, we have the capability to gamify the whole nurturing process, making it a carrot approach as opposed to using a stick approach for kids. So in terms of the size of the market that we're in Southeast Asia, across ASEAN, there's 163 million children aged 5 to 18, which is our target segment, of which 7.9 million are in Malaysia. Our target addressable market for ASEAN is 35 million and 2.7 million for Malaysia. So what does that 2.7 for Malaysia actually give us in terms of a business? Well, first of all, we're targeting 540,000 children out of that 2.7 million, which will deliver a GTV of 1.2 billion ringgit and an annual revenue of 100 million ringgit at a gross margin of 25%. So how do we make that revenue? Well, the primary revenue driver is card subscriptions, the same model that is used by the likes of GoHenry and Greenlight in the UK and US. We also charge MDRs, and we'll be introducing other ancillary services as potential upsales. We have a three-phase go-to-market plan to acquire the 540,000 active users. Phase one, where we focus on our current target customers, that's parents. So we want to develop acceptance and trust amongst those parents. In phase two, we turn our focus to youth and around youth lifestyle propositions. And in phase three, we'll be realizing the value of the network effect in terms of the combination of members, the ecosystem, and the data we have. In order to do this, we need to accelerate through our go-to-market partnerships, and those partnerships being cashless payments, or cashless community partnerships, and ecosystem build. In terms of the cashless payment partnerships, we have schools currently, and if we look at what schools are saying about us, we have good business alignment, and we also provide, in their opinion, a safe introduction to cashless, or the cashless world for kids. And in terms of parents, we've had a few technical niggles being a startup, such as third-party gateways causing OTP issues. This has meant that our Google Play Store rating is currently 4 out of 5, as opposed to being that much higher. In terms of our leadership team, it's a seasoned leadership team with over 100 years of experience in technology and finance, and we have an highly experienced advisory board guiding us on our journey, led by a former MD and country head of global banking at HSBC. We also have a former group CFO of Accelerator, the founding CTO of Grab, and finally a former group CIO of Alliance Bank, Bank Danamon Indonesia. So We've got good guidance. And in terms of fundraising, we've already closed an angel round and a pre-seed round, and we're currently just opened our seed round where we're looking to raise 5 million ringgit. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Paresh. Thank you. I really hope that this technology comes to Singapore when my son goes to school. I would like to have that control as well. Moving on, last but not the least, we have Wealthy Therapeutics team here to share more about them. Before I hand it over to Tushar, I would like to highlight how difficult it is to take care of chronic conditions, especially diabetes and hypertension. It is even more difficult for people to adhere to their medication, to do the lifestyle changes outside a hospital or a doctor's clinic. And I'm sure Wealthy team is able to address this challenge. Over to you, Tushar. Tushar, you're on mute. We cannot hear you. Yeah.
Hello, is this
Yeah.
better?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It was a mic error and not really an unmute issue. I was saying it's been an absolute pleasure listening to everyone pitch in here, and let me know when I can get started.
Yeah, you can start. You can start.
Yeah. Hey everyone. So a lot has already been spoken about the burden of disease, right? Just a while ago, it was also mentioned about how diabetes and cardiovascular conditions themselves are such a big burden. But the other dimension of what's happening in the digital health space is also the genesis of thought and the idea about how Wealthy started. So the socio-economic trends themselves never added up, right? So it's an industry where you're exchanging money every time you get a pill or every time you do a hospital visit or a test, but not really every time your healthcare is improving, right? So those economics themselves were not really aligned to healthcare outcomes. On the other end of the spectrum, you have a lot of consumerization that's happened with digitization, and therefore every person's now realizing the need that their personalized care journey needs to be different from that designed for a cohort or designed for a population. And at the center of all of this is massive advancements in technology, wherein our diagnostic services are now in our hands, can be brought at home, connected to our mobile phone applications, and an entire new paradigm of healthcare can be unlocked. All of this accelerated, fortunately by technology and unfortunately by COVID-19, has led to newer sciences experiences and the need for newer business models. And that's where Wealthy comes into the picture, where we're on a mission to improve the lives of 10 million patients by powering personalized care. And the way we do it is augmenting existing care protocols and care therapies. So the way you're visiting your doctor or taking your medication still remain intact, but is enveloped by another digital companion protocol or a companion application that helps bridge the gap between episodic care that Monica was referring to some time ago, right? And this entire domain is largely what is known as digital therapeutics. And we operate in companion digital therapeutics, where we are augmenting a pill, a medical device, or an insurance plan in some cases to provide for a new care continuum. Now, the way we do this is creating these digital therapeutic candidates by taking existing self-care guidelines for chronic disease conditions. Some of them you can see on the screen currently. And then we codify them into behavioral nudges, behavioral modules for a patient journey that is governed according to the partner need and according to the therapy area we're operational in. Now, we operate in a B2B2C model, which means that we do not directly go out to a customer and acquire patients and onboard them onto our platform. But we're very selective about this protocol because this is a critical condition within healthcare, and only those patients which are either pre-approved by a doctor or are pre-approved as a result of taking a certain type of medication through a pharma company, get onboarded through the Wealthy platform and get started on our care journey. We take all of this into small behavioral tiny habits or nudges, which are then delivered to you through an application that is not just given to you, but it's an entire platform that gets shared by caregivers as well as the providers of care, which is the doctors and the paramedic staff. A quick snapshot of us by the numbers. We're around 80 employees today, about to be live in our third country. Around 700 cities covered through 6 languages. And we have 2 quality certifications, GDPR being the latest in our kitty. And we've had 25 now real world publications, which is very critical to the work we are doing, right? Because the validation that a digital journey can also help improve health outcomes requires proof and research evidence, etc. So that's been a very core part of our journey. We've been fortunate to raise around 8.5 million in our till our pre-series A, and a lot of our investors are strategics who have either been have a strategic alignment towards healthcare or towards the geography that we are looking towards. And all of this has been enabled only through strategic collaborations and partnerships that I refer to through our B2B2C revenue model, where a lot of the pharma companies and some of insurance partners are the ones from where we onboard our patients and then take care of them on their journey. The way we've reached this place and achieved product market fit has not been a singular journey, right? A lot of it has come earlier from players in the so accelerators and programs run earlier by pharma companies, then by insurance companies, and more recently by Google for startups and other technology giants, which have helped us at every stage in augmenting our product and unlocking the next level of utility for the patients along their care journeys. Just last week, we concluded our program with G Edison Accelerator program, where also we've been able to demonstrate how our technology stack combined with the G Edison stack can actually help remote patient monitoring for post-cardio healthcare events. Now, coming quickly to what exactly does the technology stack and the product look like, right? So think of it as 3 concentric circles. At the very core of it lies a therapy or a disease area agnostic clinical intelligence module, which is largely around how do we define patient journeys, how do we internally create these nudges and modules and the training protocols required. On top of it are those therapy specific modules that are created and delivered to all the stakeholders via the things you see on the slide. So essentially patients and caregivers via the mobile phone application, which has the ability to connect with devices according to the therapy and make use of their data for insights. Next is the HCPs and the paramedics who are able to do remote patient monitoring and provide better insights based on how the patients have been managing their lifestyle in between hospital visits. And eventually enterprise level analytics for our partners to help them understand what are the pharmacovigilance implications, as well as the real world evidence of their either the pill or the insurance program, etc. An understanding of this can be simplified by by demonstrating how we have been able to go live with our type 2 diabetes candidate. And you can see the modules essentially, but the more important piece to highlight here is that the go-to market that happens with this is really tailored according to the kind of partnership that gets designed. So one commercialization example is essentially co-developing that entire IP for a specific therapy area with exclusivity in place so that the patients have an end-to-end journey, which was also designed by clinical experts, both from, let's say, a pharma partner, as well as the researchers at Wealthy. The other spectrum of the commercialization is where we have our platform ready. There's a base platform fee, and every single time a patient gets onboarded, there's a per patient application fee that gets added to the eventual revenue model. Now, one thing I would like to call out is in each of these revenue models, it is never the patient who is actually paid for the piece, but it's typically the patient support program budgets for our pharma partners or insurers that are the eventual revenue source for us and where the money flows, which means the patient's always at the absolute benefit. Something that I had alluded to earlier is the clinical validation, which means that every time we've been able to demonstrate a particular cohort showing significant healthcare improvement in outcomes such as either HbA1c readings or just physical activities or even adverse events like hypo episodes, We publish them, and we've also had one full text publication as well as around 20 abstracts in the kitty so far. These are some of the real world outcomes that we've been able to demonstrate from the previous slide. So a specific snapshot into outcomes that have been demonstrated. And this is more like a visual understanding of how we've gone to the market, right? So every AccuCheck device in India, which is a self-monitoring blood sugar device, comes with co-packaged with a Wealthy therapeutic device as a QR code. And once the person purchases this, they're also able to download the application and then get onboarded onto a journey where our health coach as well as our clinical intelligence algorithms help them manage their diabetes condition much better. Similar co-packaging deals with other partners are also demonstrated on this slide. And we're currently live in India. In Southeast Asia, we've had a couple of partnerships and are about to go live in our first partner in Europe with a Spanish partnership that I referred to some time ago in a rare disease area. So this also brings us onto the regulatory pathway to get our CE marking in place, etc., which helps us define our roadmap to hit Southeast Asia and Europe and expand further in them into 2021. The team is geared to that effect. We're a group of clinicians, people who have actually practiced in the hospital and then moved on to the corporate world. We have engineers, designers, and a lot of behavior therapists who can empathetically understand how each medical condition is different, even in every country, even in every culture that we touch on. I think it was referenced earlier how language plays a critical role, nutrition, etc. And all of these come together into the Wealthy therapy creation module that helps us deliver very patient-centric applications and care protocols in the digital ecosystem for our patients. That's all from my end. Happy to take any questions or pass the baton on from there.
Thanks, Tushar. It was indeed a very good presentation and gave us a very good overview of the journey of Wealthy Therapeutics. We have almost come to the end of the session, and I would love to run a poll with the audience and to understand which was the best pitch of the day. So, Ivan, could you help me run the poll? We are waiting for a few more votes. We are not yet reached 100%. Okay, let's give it another minute or so. There's only 33 votes coming, so there are a few more votes to come in. And also, while we are polling, I would like to remind everyone that we do have breakout rooms as a and these breakout room list would be posted in the chat so that you can go and meet, talk to all the startups one-on-one, and we would be keeping the webinar room open. So I would encourage you to not leave the webinar room so that you can come back and see the link for the other room, for the startups of the other room as well. And yeah, and we are still waiting for the votes to come in. We have almost 83% votes. Okay, let's give it another 30 seconds. Okay, I am closing the vote. I'm closing the poll now. Okay, I don't see. Okay, okay, I would like to announce the winner of the best startup pitch of the day is Credify team. Congratulations for being the best pitch.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I would like to conclude the session, but please bear in mind the session is not yet ended. We do have a breakout rooms with all the startups. So please feel free to go to the links into the chat and reach out to the startups you would want to speak one-on-one. And I would now like to thank all the mentors and all the startups to take time out and to be a part of this program and make this journey very, very successful. Thank you, everyone.